The next topic is embedded firmware development languages. Options are assembly language. How to convert the source file to hex file translation. So let's see. The assembly language, whatever the programs we are writing, is actually saved in .asm file or a .src file or a format supported by the assembler. So this, you know that whatever the programs we are typing, it will be in .asm. Similar to C and other high-level language programming, it is possible to have multiple source files called modules. But in the labs, you have not come across this. We are working with only one source file and one target. But it need not be if you are developing projects, there could be several modules, several programs, and you have to combine all of them. So it is possible to have multiple source files. So just like see, even in assembly also, you can have several source files. So each module is represented by a .asm. So it could be like 1.asm, 2.asm, 3.asm. So all the three are three different modules, but they together it may have to work for one project. So we are taking that scenario. So, or it could be in .c. Now, the software utility called assembler performs a translation of assembly code to machine code. So you know that assembler is the translator which converts assembly code to machine code. Now, the assemblers for different family of target machines are different. So different depending upon the type of machines, assemblers are will be varying. So A51 macro assembler from Keel Software is a popular assembler for the 8051 microcontroller. So this particular assembler is widely used by 8051 microcontroller. So we used to use MASM assembler previously for the x86 processors. So here we are using A51 macro assembler for 8051 microcontroller. So here in our labs we are using Keel software, and we make use of NXP. In the lab you would have seen that is for ARM. Keel is a general software. So we have to choose for which processor we are going to use it. So if it is for 8051, we have to choose a different assembler. If it is ARM, we have to choose a different assembler. So all these things you would have seen in the lab working of Keel software. Now let's see. Next slide. Now, each source file can be assembled separately to examine the syntax error. So I took an example of three assembly programs, 1.asm, 2.asm, 3.asm. So all of them, you assemble it separately to find out the errors. Now, assembling of each source file generates a corresponding object file. So if there are three files, then there will be three object files. So the object file does not contain the absolute address of where the generated code needs to be placed. So it will not be getting the address. It only converts the source program into object program. In assembling, it will find out the errors. So when there are three modules, you have to assemble all the three separately. So if 1.asm has an error, it will give you an error and you have to fix up. And after that, once if you fix it and everything is correct, it will convert that into object files. Similarly, it does the same thing for the other two. So 2.asm and 3.asm, it will generate the corresponding object file. So together you'll get three object files. But the object file does not contain the address. It doesn't contain exactly where that particular code should go and sit in the memory. That will not be there. Now, the software program called the linker is responsible for assigning the absolute address to object file during the linking process. The name itself tells it is a linker. So what does it linker does? It will take all the object files and it will combine it and it will give the address where exactly the entire program, all the program should sit. So the absolute object file created from the object files corresponding to source code module contain the information about the address where each instruction needs to be placed in the code memory. So now the object file got converted into absolute object file. Means what? Absolute object file is a combined file which tells where exactly the memory has, where exactly all the three programs should sit. Now, a software utility called object to hex file converter translates the object file to corresponding hexa file. So object to hexa means hex file is nothing but binary, the final executable file. So you have one more software program which will convert the object program, means the absolute object file, it will convert it into hex file or the binary file. That we will see in the next slide. So you are seeing the diagram. Here we are taking source file 1. It could be ASM or SRC. I'll take ASM, source file 1 and source file 2, the module 1 and module 2. So this module 1 is given to the assembler. You got object file 1. And this source file 2 is given to the module assembler and you're getting object file 2. So you have got two object files. Now along with these two object files, you are connecting the library files. So there are all the three is fed to linker. So these two object files and the library files, all of them are given to the linker. Now what the linker does? Linker converts it into absolute object file. So this will contain object file 1, object file 2 along with the addresses of each and every line. So it will tell which line is stored in which address. So that information we will be getting here. And that is given to object to hex file converter. Now this will convert it into the final machine code or the exe code. I'm repeating, we have two modules, module 1 and module 2. Module 1 is given to module assembler, that is converting to object file 1, and module 2 is getting converted to object file 2. Together we are giving it to linker or locator, and that will be given to absolute object file. So this will have the final combined file which with the addresses, and that is given to the object to hex file converter, which converts it into exe file. Now let's go to the next slide. So the advantages of this assembly language is the efficient code memory and data memory usage. We can utilize it effectively, higher performance because we are working at the hardware level, low level hardware access. Because of that, it is faster. The assembly codes are directly operating at the register level, so it is faster, gives a higher performance. And code reverse engineering, we can convert it easily to machine to assembly, assembly to machine. We can do that, assembling and disassembling. The drawback is development time. Yes, we have to study the architecture of the entire hardware to develop the programs. And the next one, developer dependency. As we said, the programs written for one controller, it cannot, microprocessor or controller cannot be ported to other type of microcontroller. With the same family, it may be possible, but the programs written for Intel may not be working with ARM, something like that. Non-portable as it is. So it is developer dependent. So the programs what we write, it is depending upon the architecture of the system. Henceforth, we cannot port to other controllers. So let's go to the next slide. Now, the high-level languages, they are written in high-level languages like C and C++. A software utility called Cross Compiler converts a high-level language to target processor-specific machine code. So the best example is the Keil. Keil is the best cross-compiler example. What is the advantage of that? The cross-compilation of each module generates a corresponding object file. Same like this only, it will convert it into corresponding object file. The object file does not contain the absolute address of where the generated code needs to be located on the program memory. So the object file will not have the addresses, but the absolute object file will have the final addresses of all the instructions in the program. Now there is a difference between the compilers and cross compilers. It does the same thing as a compiler, but slightly it is used for different purposes. So now the software program called linker and locator is responsible for assigning same thing, where now whatever I'm talking is with respect to the cross compiler. So the software program called linker or locator is responsible for assigning the absolute addresses to object file during the linking process. Same thing, the absolute object file created from the object file corresponding to different source code modules contain information about the address where each instruction needs to be placed in the code memory. A software utility called object to hex file converter translates the object file to corresponding hex files. Whatever the operations the compilers are doing, the assemblers are doing, the same thing the cross compiler does. Now, what is the difference we will see here. Now, before going to this, let me just tell you what is simple terms. I will talk about the cross compiler because you have in detail at the end of this module. Cross compilers are the best example is a Keel software. Whatever the programs you have executed in Keel, those programs are written for ARM. You have to think those whatever the programs you have written, Part A programs, it was actually written for ARM controllers. But in the labs, whatever the systems you are using, it is a different architecture. Could be Intel or AMD processors. But the architecture of ARM is different from that of your lab processors. I hope you're understanding. In the lab, whatever the system you have, they are not ARM processors. They are not ARM processors. But the programs what you are writing, it is for ARM processor. So how it is making it compatible? So for that purpose, in your labs, all the systems will they are having Keel software. So Keel is a cross compiler. Keel is a cross compiler. So what it does, whatever the programs you have written in the ARM, Keel cross compiler will take that program and it will give the output. So it will make it compatible. It will make it compatible. It's a kind of a compiler which makes you feel that you are working with the ARM controller. So the outputs, whatever you're getting, 32-bit output, you're seeing the outputs in the screens. So who is making it to work all that? It is a cross compiler, Keel compiler. So you are feeling that you're working on ARM, but actually you're not working on ARM. You're working on a different systems. But Keel cross compiler is giving you a feel that your programs are running on ARM. So that is the advantage of cross compiler. So you will never get a feel that it is different. So you can see here, same thing, source program one, same thing you're using to module cross compiler, you're giving it, and source file 2, you're giving to cross compiler. Same, it is going to generate object file 1, object file 2, and along with the library files, you're giving it to linker and loader, and it gives you the absolute object file, and that is given to same concept, object to hex file converter, finally, which executes the hex output. So whatever the normal compilers or assembler are doing, even the cross compilers are doing the same thing. But only thing, it is making it compatible to work.